Hello. I want to tell you a little bit about my approach to meditation and why it's maybe a little different than some of the other approaches that you've encountered. I am a really thorough person, and I am an explorer. And so I have spent time hanging out in a lot of different spaces, meditation spaces and spiritual spaces. And I have discovered what is underlying all of these different traditions, what is common to all of them, and traced it back to what is really most innate and human. I've discovered that in the traditions I've spent the most time in have been absolutely yoga, Buddhism, Taoism, less so. That's more in the last handful of years. Getting more involved in that now, and various forms of shamanism, specifically some South American shamanism and a little bit of North American shamanism. And what I see in all of these spaces is that there are two kinds of systems working in all of the traditions. One is what we could call a healing system, a way of bringing the physical body, and if you believe in something called an energy body or the soul or the spirit, whatever else that you believe is going on inside of this physical form, to bring that physical form back into balance with nature and back into harmony with all that it's connected to. Those systems are often talk about energy. So there'll be sort of energy healing systems. And yep, there are common kind of maps. When you overlay all the systems that I've studied, something comes out underneath that's true through all of them. And so when I teach healing work, I try to work directly with the system that seems the most innate, the most basic to all of the traditions I've studied. So there's the healing aspect. And then the other aspect of all of the traditions is some kind of awakening system. And this will usually include philosophies, stories, or myths, which is often how the ideas are brought across. But this is the more, you might think of it as the more intellectual or cerebral aspect of it. In an awakening, any awakening system, its goal is to help you become enlightened or to help you come into alignment with the truth of things, the truth of what is. And similarly, I have, going through all of these, found that when I stack them all on top of each other, there's something that comes out of the bottom. There's something that is common to all of them. There's something that shines through all of them. And these form the core of how I approach the awakening process. And these traditions interweave and intersect, and they work together. And kind of like yin and yang, how the yin and yang, the black kind of paisley has a white in the center, and the white has a black dot in the center. Similarly, the healing tradition belongs inside of and in interaction with and at the core of our awakening tradition, and vice versa. So that the process, because the processes are related, really intimately related, the process of bringing myself back into physical and emotional and energetic and even mental sort of well-being and health is related to this process of waking ourselves up from the untruths that we've been living in. My personal recent journey led me on this crazy trip where I just got married and divorced within a year, and had this huge waking up process, realizing that a lot of my physical health issues and emotional health issues and mental health issues that were coming up very strong around this period of my life, I have figured out in the past several months how that was related to some lies that I'd been telling myself. And the awakening process is the process of seeing through the lies that we've been telling ourselves. And so these all go together. And anyone who is like me, who wants to be thorough and deep and exploratory and sincere, really, really sincere, meaning like I'm not into kind of putting on a bunch of outfits or, acting like a meditator or a healer or a guru. I found all of that for me to lead me away from awakening and healing, actually. That leads me back into my ego stuff. So if you're like me and what I'm saying resonates or excites you in any way, you can check out links below this for seeing more of what I do. I have 2 sites, forevermarvel.com and nowherevillage.org, that functions sort of differently, but you can check that out on your own. And I'm really excited to be in this place where I'm getting very clear about what my offering is and how it's distinct from other offerings. And the reason I'm excited is because I know that that's going to make more clear who's coming in to my circle and who's going to hang out with me and get healed with me and get enlightened with me side by side. That's how it works. At the core of all of these teachings and traditions, we find something that's non-hierarchical, something that's not about one being having all the answers and kind of tossing them down. The answers are inside. That's something that all of these traditions say. The answers are inside of you. And by us hanging out together, if we resonate, we wake that up in each other and we mirror it for each other. So I'm really excited to invite you more deeply into my world and to see all the gifts that you bring and hopefully to experience the great joy that every human knows when we get to offer our gifts and that they're well received.